Good evening, everyone. How you going? How's it going, Noah? Um, yeah, Sunday night, having a chat. Um, it's been another big week for me. Um, well, my insomnia is getting a bit better. I'm starting to get to sleep a little bit later in the night, earlier in the night. Um, I said she's good though. Lights are on. Yes. Um, so yeah, I usually start these streams with a sort of I talk about my week, and then I do a bit of a talk, and then sometimes I read a poem, and then we go to the chat and just chat until we get tired. So um, yeah, this week's been um, pretty major. Um, like I've got through I don't know how many days now, 8 or 9 days since I Red Rose is here. Hey, how you going, Red Rose? Um, yes, Noah says also yes. How was your week? It turned out pretty good. Like I'm feeling like I feel good. Um, I have had, a lot of um, sort of sadness and depression over the week because I processed a major trauma the week previous. So it's go through the sort of rough seas, as it were. But it's been really positive because I'm seeing change, and I'm seeing benefits from knowing that, in next Friday, this coming Friday, I'll be hopefully processing um, two traumas, which will mark a major milestone for me, and they will help. It'll be the start of a new phase of my journey. So I'm really looking forward to it, and also knowing that I've now um, the most difficult traumas have been dealt with, and at the moment it seems like the processing has worked. So I'm really confident now, and that's why I do feel good, and it's and I think that insomnia is going to start easing um, moving forward. So what happened? Like I mean, I can look at my diary. I did have, you know lots in there, but I didn't achieve all too much. I did enough work around the house to suffice, and my obligations and duties of what I got to do. Um, there was a lot of learning I did this week. So I had um, when I had insomnia at the start of the week, I had this awesome live stream, and I looked back at the live stream, and I was watching myself, how like tired I was, and it looked really funny. But we had a really good chat, and that was Monday night, and I got some good advice from people of like channels to watch. Um, I checked out that Patrick Teens, his YouTube channel. He's got lots of great videos on complex trauma, and lots of topics. Yeah, got some advice about taking vitamins, and I set myself some goals to contact people, to reconnect with old friends, and I've done that. I had a chat with an old friend today, which was really good. Um, so what else? I'm just looking at my diary. Like, what else did I get? One thing I did with my coach. I've got a carers coach. It's helping me learn how to be a better carer. So that's going really well, and they've put me on to doing a course, and this course is a course in non-violent communication. So it's based on a theory of communicating, where you learn to speak better, and you actually you don't you don't you talk better with people, so that you don't make demands. Um, it's really interesting. So I've listened to the audio book over the weekend, called Nonviolent Communication, and I get the books in the mail in the next tomorrow. Hopefully, they'll be in the mail, and so I'll be able to read the book, because the book's got activities to do. So um, I'm starting this course halfway through, so I've got to catch up on everything up to this point. And it's a course I do like once a week, online. We'll Zoom, Microsoft Teams type thing. So this is a course that I'm doing for free, that is through this network, and it's really cool. It's something new that happened this week. So um, that's some news, and it's something that I'll benefit a lot from, is learning to speak better and in a more compassionate, caring way. So I'm really look forward to it. I've listened to the audio book, and it is really, it's, when you think about it, it's so simple, and it's something that we forget to do, is to simply, just the way we talk can be such a major thing, and it can affect people so dramatically. So learning how to talk better is something I look forward to doing. And so that course starts on Wednesday for me, but I'll be starting it as soon as I get the books in the mail. I'll start doing the exercises this week. Also, on Tuesday, I've got a career coach helping me, which is going to help me with my getting back into work, and that's going to really help me a lot. So I'm really grateful for this service as well. And it's through the same network, where I'll have like a year-long support with mentorship, where someone's going to help me achieve my goals in getting back to work, and in the sort of work that I really want to do. So they'll help me along the way. And I've mentioned in previous streams that I want to do. I want to help other people um, in some way, and so I want to do nature therapy. So take people for bushwalks and go watch the sunset and that sort of thing, and combine mindfulness exercises with that. So I'm excited for the future with that. I've got someone who's going to mentor me through this process. So I'm going to take this opportunity and really do as much as I can with it. And I've got my first formal meeting on coming up this week. But you know what happened last week was, I didn't manage to do much self care. I pretty much was housebound all week, which was, but I still managed to get all the things I needed to do done, and I was there for my responsibility. So um, I'm just looking through. Yeah, I really didn't have much else go on. Um, so today I wanted to talk about disclosing trauma and positive and negative um, experiences that I've had. And I'll start with this book I've read, written by the Blue Knot Foundation, and it's called Talking About Trauma. And it's really good. And it's something that, should be part of curriculums for people. But what it does is it explains safe ways to, it's written from the perspective of someone who is not the person disclosing, but it's actually from someone who's there helping someone, being the person to listen to them, and how to actually treat them, in a safe, compassionate, kind way. And but the beauty of the way the book's written is that you can actually just reverse the roles of what it's saying, and imagine, if you were in the position where you were needing to speak to someone, how you go about it, and what, like, because you can have very negative reactions to um, to disclosure. Often for me, it's happened. Um, it, it wasn't planned. Like I would be triggered, and then I would then, um, you know, have to explain why I'm upset, and then I'd explain to them, these things happen to me, and I would have I would have positive reactions and also sometimes negative reactions. So I'll sort of go through my experiences. So um, it wasn't really until like my late teens when um, that the sort of idea of actually talking about things that had happened to me happen, like situations. And at the time, basically, all I could do was I would be in a freeze state. Often, I'd be shut down or dissociated, and in a very frightened, subdued, and state. So it would so I would be triggered, and then someone would say, "What's wrong with you? What's the matter?" And I would say, "Look, I've had I've got trauma. I've had major trauma in my life," and that's all I could say to them. I couldn't tell them any particulars. All I could say was, "I've just had all these bad things happen to me," and because I'm generally my personality is generally um, friendly, and I have a lot of energy. Often it doesn't show. People don't see how much pain I've got on the inside until I get in that position where I'm triggered, and then they see how much distress I'm in, and that's when they would ask. They would say, "What's wrong? What's going on?" And all I could do was to just say, and I remember these situations of being in these situations, and just saying, "Look, I can't even, don't know where to start. I've just had all these bad things happen in my life," and it's all I could say to him was, "It shocks me, and it shocked me," and that all I could say was is that be I would be stuck in remembering them. So this was at a time where I didn't even know. I didn't even really know. I knew what flashbacks were, but I thought that was all I knew about flashbacks. Was that's what veterans get. They have flashbacks to war. I had no idea about the fact that we all have flashbacks once we've suffered trauma. So my all I could say was is that I have these really bad memories, and they what happens to them, I would explain to them, to these people, um, is that um, I would my my day would just be going along, and then something would happen, and suddenly I get stuck in this memory, and then it takes me over, and all I can do is think about this situation, and I get shocked. That's all I could explain. I had no idea what was going on, and I didn't want to tell anyone any of these details about any of the stuff. All I could say was I'd had horrible things happen, I'd also had a you know at the, this is when this first started happening. It was around the time I'd had a serious work accident, which was highly traumatic. So and like I was in a car accident as well the next year. Um, so and it was a serious car accident, and like the car flipped in the air, and I didn't get injured. I had my seatbelt on nice and tight, so I didn't get injured. But the car got T-boned and flipped, landed on its back and was spinning around, and we crashed into another car. And um, the driver and I both got out of the vehicle, and we were unharmed, but we were in shock. And I remember um, being the tow truck driver that took us, because we didn't go to hospital or anything, but the tow truck driver took us back. I don't know where they dropped us off. They dropped us off somewhere where the driver's parents picked us up and took us home. But while we were in the truck with the crashed car on the back of the truck driver was explaining about how you're in shock, and that you're in shock at the moment, and you might not sleep tonight, and you know um, it'll take time for you to calm down and all this sort of stuff. And so it was easier for me to explain to people around that time in my life, late teens, early 20s, is that I just had these horrible things happen to me, and I'd had these accidents, and they were near death accidents, and that they were very traumatic. So I never spoke about any of the things for many years. And like I've said in other streams too, I've had I had early childhood trauma, then adolescent trauma, and then I had adult trauma. So like it just kept happening for me. It never really stopped. I would have a couple of years maybe when not much would happen, but for most of my life, something major would happen every year. And so that's why it basically broke me down, because I didn't just have the childhood trauma, I also had the adult trauma. And so when I've been processing these traumas, I've also been processing the adult traumas at the same time. So it wasn't until, in the last 10 years when I actually started to open up to people, because I had, I'd had emotional or mental breakdowns, like when I had a car accident at work and I quit my job, and I wasn't scared of driving, but I couldn't drive far, or I could only drive at night time when there was no cars on the road, and I couldn't drive far, but and that's when I started opening up about some of the experiences that had happened when I was a child. And obviously I had the shame and toxic shame and those things associated with the traumas. Um, so I didn't want to tell people, I was ashamed of them, um, even though even though it wasn't my fault, it was things that other people did to me. I still, you sort of blame yourself even though it's not your fault, type thing. And I also didn't want people's memories or perception of me to change after they found out of things that had happened to me, because I'd actually experienced that when I'd seen or heard other people disclose their traumas to me. It changed how I thought about them. So I then personalized that, and then it sort of scared me off doing that. Um, okay, so when I first started um, disclosing traumas, it was to a psychologist, and I felt comfortable with this psychologist, and this was um, 12 years ago. And I was able to talk to this person about very painful things, and this was a psychologist that really helped me and very compassionate too. So I didn't have much money at the time, so they actually agreed to not charge as much for me to go there. So that enabled me to get help. So I'm very appreciative of this particular psychologist, and was non-judgmental, and was very good. Taught me mindfulness and grounding techniques, and CBT techniques, um, and really helped me work through some problems. I didn't go into details about the traumas, and I didn't have to. I just explained what they were, and that's all and that I didn't want to talk about them. So I wasn't really processing them by at that time. And then over over the years, I did talk about a lot of my adult traumas that had happened, because but again, I kept inside because I was fearful of actually speaking about them too, and I won't speak about them now, and now that I've actually processed them and dealt with them, I don't have to think about them anymore, which is good. And if I do think about them, I don't get triggered by them. So that's how I know that they're processed. Um, it was uh, when I then didn't see a psychologist for many years, and then went back and found a psychologist that was specialized in PTSD, which I thought was good. That's why I picked this person. Unfortunately, I started to disclose traumas with this psychologist, and I had very negative adverse reactions to it. I was actually made to feel like it was my fault that things had happened to me. And it really hurt me, and it put me in a bad place. And, I don't have any, I mean, I don't, I'm not angry at the person or anything like that. This was now many years ago, 6 years ago, I think it was. And yeah, it was 6 years ago. And, but the problem was, is it put me in a bad place. So I thought I was in a safe place, and I was talking about things that really, really hurt me. And there were several cases where I was made to feel like it was my fault. Um, and that I had no reason to be so traumatized by it. And that really hurt me, because I'd spent years being traumatized by these situations, and then to have someone tell me, "Oh, well, you should, it's nothing." And this is someone who so-called specializes in post-traumatic stress disorder. So I had a bad reaction to that. And that's when I left the city I was living in, and I went and lived in the bush, in the country, for 6 months. Um, because at the time when that happened, is it basically then re-traumatized a whole bunch of traumas. Because once I'd been made to feel like I was to blame for these things, it then I then it then made these other traumas that were sitting there bubble up to the surface, and then I had to just leave. I had to get out of the city and get away from people, and I did that. And that was when I had executive dysfunction, and I mentioned this in previous ones. So um, there was a period of like 3 or 4 years where I'd had major traumas in a row, and then it led up to me having executive dysfunction where I couldn't think at all. And this is when I was trying to study. and that particular psychologist pushed me over the edge, and then I left. So I packed up all my belongings and then went and lived in a house in the middle of nowhere. And you know, um, I wasn't in a good mental state because of that. And there was also a good aspect to doing that, because I was, in a different environment, and I was away from the city and all the stress of the city. So it did mean that the things that were causing me all this pain at the time disappeared. And even while I was there, I was able to disclose um, to someone close to me several traumas, and that was positive. That there was a positive reaction. So that was soon after that negative negative reaction to disclosure. 6 months later, I had some positive reactions, and um, comforting, and compassion and understanding of why I was so disheveled and distraught and in pain. And unfortunately, because I had several years of sort of chaos in my life, um, I then had to return back to the city. I also had to, because the temperature there got so hot, I couldn't actually stay there. In summertime, it gets so hot there, you just can't live there. The house would get so hot that it was just uninhabitable, basically, unless you had air conditioning, and I didn't have that. So I was forced to then return back to the city. Then again, I had a couple more traumatic experiences, because they never ended for me. These things, things are pretty stable now, but like, it seems to be just part of my life, is that these things just keep happening. So I'm getting better at dealing with them, at least, and I'm processing the bulk of the. I've processed the bulk of the major ones. So I'm positive for the future. So I hope I'm not speaking too fast, and there's a sort of coherent understanding of the sort of timeline leading up to now. Is that after that, I then felt like I was able to start safely speaking to people close to me some of the things. So I'd gotten past the shame aspect of um, talking about such sensitive personal topics to people, and I had some very good, compassionate, understanding conversations with friends and people close to me, where I was able to tell them what had happened to me at certain times in my life. And that helped me at that time. And then it got worse, because I then got majorly re-traumatized, because I thought I'd been reconnected with some of the abusers from when I was a child. And that really traumatized me and sent me in a really bad place. It brought everything right back up. And that's when basically talked about those experiences in more detail. So I'd actually talked about them before, but then I couldn't, I had to tell people. And I had very negative responses from some people. Some people were aggressive and angry at me, for disclosing trauma that had happened to me, and that really upset me. It put me in a really bad place because and I can totally understand their reaction, and that's, it talks about it in this book, is that um, it can actually, it's called vicarious trauma response, where it actually, you're traumatizing the person you're telling, uh, you're talking to, and they can't handle it, and so they then become traumatized themselves, and then they react in an angry manner or dismissive. I had that as well. I had dismissive reactions as well. At the same time, during this period of my life, I had negative reactions, dismissive reactions, and I also had compassionate, kind, understanding reactions, because I felt like at the time there was certain people I had to talk to, and I didn't just um, I didn't just like I didn't I felt like I needed to explain why I was so messed up. And in fact, sometimes it was prompted by the person themselves. They would ask me, what's going on? What's the matter? And I would have to then say, look, this is why I'm so messed up. This and this and then this and then this, and they would usually be understanding, and unfortunately there was also the occasional aggressive reaction or negative reaction or dismissive reaction. Um, Soon after that period of my life, which is when I had thought I'd been reconnected or reintroduced to these people, which I can't prove, because it was so long ago. But to me, it was them. Um, and like uh, I, it really messed me up, and I was already I was re-traumatized by that, and then so um, I was encouraged to go see a psychologist again. So I went to go see a psychologist, and that went downhill because um, I went through it all again. I went through it all again, and there was no processing of any of the traumas, and it was like each session was just going through them and not dealing with any of them, until it got to the point where I was so agitated and upset. Um, you know, I stopped going to see this psychologist, and so it wasn't really their fault, because I was sort of directing the sessions, because I was just kept going on and on about all these things, and then and then I didn't feel like I was getting any um, help from it, and then I um, I got understanding. This person was understanding, but they also questioned, like, particularly one of the traumas, and they questioned it, and that really upset me. So I that put me in a really bad place, and I didn't want to go back to see the person after that. And I'd already been re-traumatized, and then re-traumatized again, going through all the traumas. So like I'd made it worse and worse and worse for myself. Well, I didn't make it worse for myself in the first instance. It just happened. I think I made it worse for myself when I went back to another psychologist, even though I knew that from the previous experience from um, that was several years previous, I had a bad reaction as well. So I should have also known this, that you don't always have good reactions, or you don't always get good results from therapy. It's not always therapy. It especially if you're being re-traumatized, and this is what happened to me in that situation. And because I was um, questioned on the validity of what I was saying, I got very offended by this person, and I didn't go back to him, and I was then on a downward spiral, and things got worse and worse for me, and that's what then led up to my life falling apart in the last 12 months. So I went through months of insomnia and recklessness. My job, I was working for myself, and I started basically um, shutting my business down. I was working for myself, and I started to um, stop working, cutting off clients until I basically had only just a few clients that I worked for. So I had enough money coming in to keep doing what I was doing, but I was actually spending. I went into this mode of a survival mode where I because I make art and it's a big therapy thing for me. I went into survival mode, and I was just making. I got right into playing guitar, and I was making noise music, and I was they were the two main things, and I was creating these sculpturals, concrete geopolymer like tiles, which I'd sculpt, and so I was making all these different things. It was, but um, and I was also, at that time, I was going through my own form of processing of um, a trauma myself, and I was doing it through a forgiveness process, which I talked about in previous streams. So all of this stuff was going on, and it all basically became too much. I became overwhelmed with everything, and then um, I couldn't. I couldn't continue like that for much longer, and in fact, that's when everything just collapsed for me, and that's what's led me up to now. Is so in the last 6 months, I've basically been processing traumas individually and doing it myself. I've been doing some with a psychologist, um, but mostly it's been me doing the work myself. And that's been basically me bringing it bringing it up, going through it, and then letting go, and going through a forgiveness process as I do it. And it has been working for me. I've tested this out on all of these, and I'm not getting flashbacks anymore. Um, okay, so the biggest problem I have now is the different trauma which is associated with um, like narcissistic abuse and emotional abuse that occurred at certain periods of my life, and that's had a lasting effect on me. Where I think that's the most difficult stuff for me to deal with, and I haven't approached some of those, but I'm not. I'm avoiding social situations at the moment, just to prevent being triggered by that, because I think it's more important that I deal with all of these, the major ones, which I now have done. So I had a lot of negative reactions to disclosing trauma from various people. But at the same time, I had positive reactions that were comforting and helping me. So it's a very difficult thing, because the negative ones caused me damage, and I then went into a downward spiral because of them in 2 occasions. And so I can, I have a reasonably good relationship with my current psychologist, and I can talk to this person about stuff, and hopefully it works. What I've got planned to go through this week, hopefully it works, and I'm optimistic that it will. And in relation to the rest of the traumas, what I'm going to be processing this week is not as major. So I've gone through all the major ones now, and these ones are just sort of, they did cause a bit of pain and uneasiness, but they weren't the ones that really broke me. I've dealt with the really serious ones now. So I'm very confident that I'll be able to process that this week, and that it's going to be a positive thing. But there's nothing worse than thinking you're in a safe position to be vulnerable and exposing yourself, and telling intimate, confiding and intimate things about yourself and what you've lived through with someone, and then to have it turned around on you is horrible and literally re-traumatizing. And so some of the negative reactions put me in that state where it's like I was doubly re-traumatized. Like I had the trauma there itself, but then I also had the effect of the negative reaction on top of that. So that is very upsetting. On the other side, I've had the positive reactions where people have been compassionate and considerate and understanding, and that's allowed me to heal through having other people's empathy towards me and their understanding. So what happens with the negative reactions is it's too much for the people. They don't want to know, or they have the vicarious trauma response where they themselves are traumatized and they become angry or upset at you for even telling them. And there's various reasons for that. One is, and I've had this told to me, is that now that I've disclosed this, their whole memory of me is now changed forever. So they can't see past that. And that in itself is upsetting, because it means that I then have guilt over putting someone else through something that is essentially traumatic for them, and also that it's changed their perception of me forever. And that's another thing that you not necessarily have guilt over, but it's like regret or remorse for actually doing it. But then the thing is that um, it it got to that point several years ago where I had no choice except to explain. And because I was at that point had been re-traumatized, and the only way I could explain to people why I was so messed up was because these things happened to me. Um, so I do have a regret in some respect, but I had no choice at the time. Like I couldn't not. Um, and again, like these are things that I'd kept inside, some of them for most of my life. So um, okay, so things that I've learned, especially reading this book, there's things that I've learned, and like there's ways to actually d- disclose or share your trauma with someone in a safe way. And it, you know, in reading the book, I understood that I did the right thing in most situations. Um, but the whole thing about, and this is why everyone, like everyone, like in the planet, should become more trauma informed, so that they can then understand how to deal with other people's trauma, or um, as someone who's traumatized, how to disclose that in a safe way. And I didn't know what I was doing. So now I know. But the thing is, it's too late now. I don't have to worry about it anymore. Like I've gone through and processed most of my traumas, where I don't have to think about or talk about them anymore. So it's now I'm focusing on um, repairing the nervous system, and um, learning how to re-regulate as quick as possible, and trying to reverse the damage that has been done to my body as well as my mind. So, I've made it to a certain point now, and I think um, I'm really glad that I've made it to this point, and that now I can work on the next chapter or phase of my life. So I haven't been reading any of the chats, obviously, because I've been too busy talking. But I wrote a poem, and it's about this topic, and I gave it a name. I don't always give poems names. This one's got a name. It's called Closure. So I'll read it out to you. This poem's called Closure. How can I speak without my voice? Who will listen when they don't want to hear? Why would they care in a world of silence, when it hurts to share the pain and fear? Where do you go when there is no choice. If it's all too much, it becomes a blank stare. What is the point when nothing changes? Because nothing changes without a voice or choosing a choice to cast off or to bear. Walk through the shame, swim through the fear, sing to the stars, shout to the moon, speak to the dawn. It will be a new day soon. So, yeah. I think I've basically said as much as I can about that whole topic, and I just read that poem, which is all about it. And one thing I will say is that, we do keep these things inside for so long because we feel like we don't have a voice or we can't speak up or speak to people. And so there needs to be a safe place and sometimes the place that you think is a safe place is not a safe place. And that's happened to me several times, where I thought it was appropriate and safe to go through these things, and I had negative adverse reactions, which is really sad. And that put me back. That's sent me backwards. So I don't have the answers, but it is better to actually find a way to process. You need to disclose and move on. You can let go of things without ever telling people, but there needs to be safe ways that you can do so that you can appropriately process. But not everyone's going to be happy about hearing about what happened to you. I had good and bad responses. So I'm just grateful I've got to this point now, and I can focus on the next part of healing. So I hope you like my poem. I get a lot out of reading these poems that, and they're often about this stuff. So, the chat's been going for a while now, which is great. I like that when that happens. When I'm doing my talk at the beginning and everyone's chatting, I really like that. And it does mean that when I do start getting to the chat, I'm not going to be starting from the beginning. But what I'll do is I'll read your comments when I'll watch the replay, and I'll read your comments then. But I'll start at what everyone's saying now, sort of thing. So yeah, Red Rose says, Noah, we all have opportunity here in this chat to be our real selves. What a blessing that is. That's an awesome comment. Thank you so much. I'm glad that there is this space here that we all share, Noah, Red Rose continues, Noah, yes, authenticity and realness is rare these days. You're most welcome. Noah says, it was beyond our control, Luke. That's what Cat USMC lady told me. I think I know what you're referring to, is that, what happened to us is beyond our control, and that, we so that's how you can let go of like the toxic shame, if that's what you're talking about. um I'm just starting the chat where it's at now, so I don't start off too far behind. Red Rose says, Luke, thank you for sharing your poem. So heartfelt, so raw, so beautiful. Thanks, Red Rose. Red Rose says, Noah, 100%. Emin Bells says, I'm fed up with therapy. My therapist truly never got lost in the dark forest. Like when I talk about being afraid of getting triggered at the gyno, but it's just a quick pain, maybe a few seconds. Yeah, see, that's a really good point. Is that, you know, how can they empathize? Like, look, don't get me wrong. There's amazing therapists out there, obviously, and but then at the same time, um, if they haven't experienced what you've experienced, how can they empathize? How can they understand? You know, and so it can be very triggering where something that is so traumatic to you, like what you just said, getting triggered at the gyno, which is can be very traumatic. I don't know because I'm a male. Sorry to laugh, but I don't know. I I can imagine how traumatic that would be, and how personal that thing is, and so um, it's nothing to be taken lightly. You know, so um, I see, and that's actually that's a perfect example. I can't empathize with that because I don't know what it's like, but I can imagine how personal and um, if you understand what I'm saying, I can sort of empathize only to a point. Um, Noah says, Red Rose, yes, not much authenticity, realness around us anymore. We do live in a world that's like full of just things that just, I don't know how to describe it, but you turn on the television, you read the newspaper, you don't know what to believe. Um, Emin Bell says, but you know what's working? Question mark. Music, my one and only friend. Besides books and poems, but not the ones on calendars. with with the face with the raised eyebrow. So the poems on calendars just don't. Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. They've got to be real ones. But yeah, I love what you're saying there. That music is your one and only friend. It's great how you can have that passion and that connection to something. And I'm so glad I'm getting back into music, and people are sharing music with me, and I'm listening to music and discovering new musicians, and that's happening because of these chats. And I'm getting people sharing their music with me, and it's really helping me. And I'm starting to listen to music again. So it's like getting a friend back, just like what you say. And then things like that, yeah, books and poems. The beauty about music and books and poems is they can't betray you. They can't hurt you. I mean, you can have songs and poems and books that are painful, but they can't betray you. They can't abuse you. They can't do bad things to you, you know. They can be your friend, you know, and they can be your solace. Noah says, love the poem, it hits. Thank you, Noah. That's awesome. I appreciate that. Red Rose says, Emin Bells, I'm so sorry that you've had such an experience as that. Yeah, well, I can't empathize because I don't know what it's like, but I can imagine how traumatic that stuff would be. I can imagine it, but I can't know it because obviously. Red Rose says, Noah, Schmore, 100%. Thank you so much for all the praise on that poem. Like, it's yeah, thank you. Um, and it was inspired by doing this talk today. So that's where the poem came from. I've got the hearts flying in the sky. I love it. I'm going to click a few. I love it when that happens. Red Rose says, Emin Bells, the same with me, exclamation marks, music, exclamation marks. I have to have my music, of course. I write my nature poems too. Yes, Red Rose writes some amazing nature poems. They're really special. And I hope she gets back into writing more. Especially, it's all about like having something that you can, you know. So for me, at the moment, like I'm only writing maybe 2 or 3 poems a week, but that's okay. That's all. That's enough, and I get to share them here. So I get this positive response back from it. So how awesome is that? Like getting to share these things and um, Noah says, Emin Bells, you should share your music or poems. You're one of the real and sweet, kind people. Isn't that's a nice thing to say. Red Rose says, Noah, Noah Small and Emin Bells, are you all both on Instagram? If so, I share my poetry on there. Yeah, Red Rose she's got lots of her poems up there on Instagram, so you can find her on Instagram. Like she's got the same name on there. So yeah, find her on Instagram if you're on there. And if you're not on there, it's worth signing up just to, if you like reading poetry, there's a lot of people putting poetry on there. I follow a few poets on there now, and it's great to just, click on Instagram and there's a few poems to read. So Noah says, "Oh, who just said gynecologist? I have cramps." See, look, I can't, I don't know what it's like. I don't know what it's like, but I can understand that it would be it could be traumatic or painful or both. So, Red Rose says, Emin Bells, I would love to see your amazing favorites. So that's it, poems. So I didn't know Emin Bells wrote poetry as well, or whether she just reads it. But like if she writes it, that'd be great to share it with us somehow. So I put some of my poetry on Instagram, and I'm going to start doing more of that. Um, so Emin Bell says, "Oh wow, thank you guys. I'm not used to this response. Thank you so much, really." Noah says, "Emin Bells, it'll be okay. You're very cool. Wish I could give you a fajita. I remember you like fajitas, and we have a ton here. Lol." That's like, isn't that a drink with like tequila? I'm not sure. And it has mint in it. if that's what I'm thinking. Red Rose says, Emin Bell's big hugs to you, with the hugs and then the roses. Emin Bell says, no, I deleted Insta. Oh, so you're not on there anymore. But maybe I'll do one for music and stuff like that. Yeah, that's it. I was on Instagram years ago, and then I disabled my account, and then I started a new one in a couple of years ago, and then I'm enjoying it now. On there, putting a photo up every few days or once a week, sort of thing. Red Rose says, Noah, small big hugs to you, with the hugs and the roses. Emin Bells says, wow, Noah and Rose, you wonderful souls, with a big heart. Isn't that awesome? A lot of love here in the chat tonight. It's good to see. Red Rose says, Emin Bells, that would be so wonderful. Yeah, that's it. Maybe Emin Bells will start, get back on Instagram and use it to share music or something. You know, that's the thing with social media. You can be very selective how you use it. You know, Red Rose says, Emin Bell said, yeah, that would be so wonderful. I think I read that. Noah says, I think I deleted Instagram, but remember Insomnia Group. See, that's cool thing with Instagram. You do have all the groups. So like an Insomnia Group, you know, that's pretty cool. You can all share your experiences with insomnia. Maybe I should find the Insomnia Group on there. I did a post just the other day on Instagram, and it was like a sunset twilight, and it's like I was saying my insomnia is like passing. I feel so good now. It was like an achievement for me, although it hasn't fully gone yet. I was up till like 5 or 6 in the morning this morning, but it was constructive. I was listening to an audiobook while I couldn't get to sleep, so I still made something of it, and I still did stuff today. I did work with Dad. We worked on the drainage pipes today, which was great, and we'll finish it tomorrow. Emin Bell says, oh, Noah, I'm so hungry. So good you remembered. Emin Bells, I hope you got to the markets. Remember the other night you said you were going to go to the markets? I hope you made it. And if you didn't, you'll get there in the future. Red Rose says, Noah, with the laughing tears, or the tears. Emin Bell says, no, I stopped writing, but I got my old stuff 16 years ago. I could translate, but they are so sad. Fascinating. The same pain was always there. I follow a poet on Instagram, and it there's the automatic translate feature. So like, even though she writes in a different language, I'm able to read her poetry, and you know, it's translated by a robot. So I don't know how accurate it is, but it's interesting that there is that feature. So you can do that. Like if you know, but then you speak English as well, obviously, not just Swiss, so that you could translate it yourself and know how it's meant to sound or meant to be. Noah says, I remember some things. Couple of minutes. I knew Luke was in Australia, but the other stream I forgot because it was fast. That's right. That's classic. Yeah. East coast of Australia. Noah says to the red rose with the laughing tears. Red Rose says, Luke, big hugs to you. Oh, thank you, Red Rose. Big hugs back to you. Red Rose says, Noah, and with the emoji of the howling. That's the howling emoji, isn't it? That's the howling emoji where it's just like laughing so much, tears are coming. It's just streaming down your face, you know. Red Rose says, "Y'all, me and Luke do collaborations on Instagram with our poetry and nature photos. Yeah, we do. It's been fun. We'll have to do more. I'll this coming week, because I haven't the last 2 weeks I haven't managed to get out of the house much and see the sunset or do any of that. But this next week, I'm definitely going to do it. So I'll have some cool photos up there, and Red Rose, you'll see some photos, and then you'll get inspired, and then you'll either have a poem already written or you'll write a fresh one for the occasion. But that's something you can do on Instagram, is collaborate on stuff, which is great. So I enjoyed that, Red Rose. It's really fun. Emin Bell says, "Oh, that's great. One more reason to get back on Insta." Yeah, definitely, Emin Bells. Get on there and follow me and follow Red Rose. Same with Noah. Get on there, and we can keep chatting through there too. You know, through the chat feature. Noah says with a smiley face, Luke didn't know he was going to have a bunch of mean menstruate girls. Totally, that's totally fine. It's awesome. It's awesome. I love having you. Love having you all here. It's good. Emin Bells, Red Rose says, Emin Bells, yes, yay, 100% with the hearts. Yeah, that's it. Get back on Instagram. Start a fresh account, you know, or if you can bring your old account back, you might be able to re-engage your old account, but maybe you want to start fresh again. That's what I did. I started fresh. And you know, so yeah. Noah's like, Luke ... Red Rose says Noah Small with the howling face with the tears. Noah's like, there's no bubblegum tree. I don't get that, but I'm sure it makes sense somewhere, somehow. Oh, wouldn't it be nice if there was a bubblegum tree in reality? Wouldn't that be cool? Like, instead of fruit, like it's bubblegum. And it's funny when you think about it. Bubblegum's made from plant gum as well, so it comes from plants. Like it's like congealed. I don't know what they make it from, but they boil and process plant material to make the gum. So there literally is trees that make the gum. I don't know. I don't know where it comes from. There's probably like a YouTube video that shows you how they make bubble gum. And there's probably a tree that makes it, for all we know, you know, because everything comes from plants in this world. Like, you know, most of the drugs and not, well, not most, but so much stuff comes from trees and plants. And um, Noah says with the laughing tears, Red Rose to Red Rose. Red Rose says yes. She sends she's got the howling tears back. Red Rose says, I will make another reel soon. That's it. It's cool, the reels. I put a few reels on my Instagram of me playing guitar, and there was one I did of sunrise video stuff. So I'll keep doing that. Do you know the one from Herman Hesse, In the Mist? It also fits good with brain fog. No, but should I write that down? And I'll look it up. In the Mist. I'll check that out. Oh, Red Rose says yes, exclamation mark. So she must know it. It sounds like it sounds like it is famous, like In the Mist. Sounds like it's timeless classic. Red Rose says, Emin Bells, I've never heard that one. Oh, okay, so she hadn't heard that one. Noah says, Insta, question mark, you guys won't judge me? I look meanish, but I'm not. No judgment, Noah, never judgment. That's it, no judgment at all. I look a bit mean with my bald head, don't I? My shaved bald head. I get self-conscious that I look mean, and with my I have this problem where for years, like I walked around with an angry face. So people would call me angry face because I'd always be like this, because I was just angry with the world. So, but then you see me, I laugh and smile. So, and I can only laugh and smile because of all you lovely people that help make me feel happy, and we share laughs and smiles. So, um, Noah says you said bubblegum tree in your yard. So there must be a bubblegum tree. This is interesting. Should I look it up? I've got to Google it now. I'm going to write that down, and I'm going to Google it later. Maybe it's Red Rose says, Noah Small, we don't judge you at all! Exclamation marks. We would be happy. Absolutely. Emin Bells continues, no, Noah, all good. My resting face looks angry, so never mind. Me too. Like my resting face is like, no, my resting face is this. But I have spent a lot of my life like that, like that, not happy, stressed out. And that's what's really good. Like one of the mindfulness body relaxation exercises is really good. The body scan, which is like that yoga nidra. And I've been doing it several times a day now, and it's so awesome, relaxing all your face and your cheeks and your eyes and your nose and your chin, your jaw, relaxing it all, even relaxing your skull. You can feel your skull, even though it's just a bone. There's all the muscles around it little muscles, and when you relax it, you feel it. But like, it's amazing when you do the body scan. And I'll actually, next week in the live stream, I'll do the body scan exercise, so you can all experience the mindfulness version of body scan. And so in yoga, it's known as a progressive body relaxation, or yoga nidra. So it's awesome, eh? Like, you relax your whole. You start at your, sometimes you start at your feet and then you work up, but the one I've been taught, you start at the crown and then you do the face and the whole head, and then your throat, and then down your spine, and then your back, and then your chest, and then your belly, and then your pelvis, and then you relax your upper body for a bit, and once you've done that, then you do you work on your thighs, down your knees, calves, down to your feet. It's awesome. It's so good. Afterwards, you feel so relaxed. And if you do it a few times, you even get more relaxed. And the key is once you've done it, if you do it in the morning, throughout the day, you can then basically call back and remember that relaxation, and you actually feel it puts you back in that relaxed state, even if you're standing up. You know, it's amazing. It really works. Red Rose says, y'all, I'll be unable to follow y'all on Instagram. Luke can tell you about it, but I have a glitch with it. So currently I'm unable to follow anyone on there, but y'all will be able to follow me. Yeah, that's it. There's this really strange glitch with Red Rose's Instagram, where she's got like thousands of followers, but it says 0 for people that she follows. It's this weird glitch. So I don't know how it works. And she's contacted Instagram about it, and they can't work it out. So I don't understand it. Red Rose says no. Red Rose says, Luke, you look kind and caring. The shift. Thank you. That's it. The shift is happening. It's happening. I feel like things are different now. I'm a different person. You know, I still got a lot of work to do, but I feel like things have changed. Especially, I think it's going to be, the next few months is going to be a massive change. You know, especially when I get my health back on track physically. I get stronger again. Noah says to Red Rose, Emin Bell's very kind. Thank you. Maybe I will. I have to put on an act, you know, like have things together. I speak with my eyes since I don't like talk much. That's all right. Yeah, it's amazing how you know you do. We do speak with our eyes. Oh, I'm laughing now. I get it. Luke, you said you had a gum tree. Yeah, we do, but it's not a bubble gum tree. We've got lots of gum trees in Australia. You have them in America too, and they're in California. They're called eucalypt trees, and they planted lots of eucalypt trees in California, so that you might even have some near you. But that's what we call gum trees, eucalypts. And I think the name, I think they're called gum tree because the sap that comes, sap comes out of the trunks of the trees, and it's real sticky, like gummy. So I think that's where the name comes from. I don't know, but I'm guessing that's where the name comes from. Red Rose says Noah with the heart, with the hugs and the flowers and the hearts. Ammon Bells says, no, the bald head fits you perfectly, by the way. You have a beautiful beard. Oh, well, thank you so much, Ammon Bells. The beard's like, I gave it a trim like a couple of weeks ago, and it's, it's got its shape. Because I've had a beard now for like, I've had a beard longer than I haven't. I think I was like, yeah, more like I'm 46 now, so I've had a beard for like 26 years. I haven't shaved it off ever in 26 years. I've cut it short, but I've never shaved it off. So for over half of my life, the majority of my life, I've had a beard. So what I've done is I've gotten used to, like, I've worked out how to keep it, like trim it without least amount of effort. So I don't have to spend much time on it. So yeah, I think I just worked out. It's all about. I'll tell you the secret to with beards is you work out hair grows at different speeds. So I trim the sides here because I like that being short here, and the mustache grows slowest, and the cheeks. The cheeks grow fastest, so I let that grow out, and then I shave it all every couple of weeks or month or whatever. But yeah, this grows slow as well. So like, it's you to get the shape, you've got to know which bits grow fast and which bits grow slowly. So there's a little secret tip for trimming beards. Red Rose got the hugs. Emin Bell says, I feel that, Noah. It's always in the eyes. Red Rose says, yay, Luke, with the red roses. Thank you. Noah says, Emin Bell's my walking best friend. Isn't that what that means? BFF? I don't know what that. We never talk, but we understand each other. We understand each other day with a look. Yes, I understand what you're saying. Creepy, yes, but I'm comfy with it. Yeah, that's it. Like, it's amazing how you can just expressions can just say explain stuff. Ammon Bells, yes, and Rumi helped me with his poems. Do you know Jorg Boucher? Boucher? Jorg Boucher. Is that how you say it? I really like his wisdom stories from all over the world. No, but I'm going to write that down. That's what I do with these streams. I write down all these things to look up. How do you spell it? George? Boucher. Bucay. See, it's good. I've got lots of things to look up now. Emin Bell says, well said, Noah. You make me smile, with the smiley, with the hearts in the eyes. Not only with the eyes, with the smiley. Noah says, you're the best. You're the bestest, Luke. Thank you. I tried Zeus 20-minute body full toning. That's it. I haven't looked up Zeus yet. Zeus Fitness. That was from Monday night's insomnia chat. Someone mentioned that. So Zeus Fitness. I'm going to look it up again. It's still in my book, so I've still got to look it up. Yeah, 20-minute body toning. Not going to lie, 15 minutes and my noodle's arms died, but he's nice and calm. That's good. I'm going to look it up because that was perfect, and that was advice. I forget who said it, but someone that was in the stream, in the insomnia stream, and it was asking about fitness exercises that you can do. Oh, it was because like helping you to get to sleep. So they said don't do the exercise just before you go to bed, but do it like a couple of hours beforehand, and it'll help you tire you out so you can get to sleep. Red Rose says Noah Small. I just recently posted a reel on my Instagram of a guy talking about how some people don't just talk all the time to everybody. We have to feel comfortable and safe to open up. That's exactly true. And I guess that's sort of what I was, talking about earlier in the talk section, is that, is you got to feel comfortable with who you're talking to. And but that extends out into just everything, especially like I'm like that, like I'll shut off, but if I feel comfortable and it's the right place, and I feel comfortable with the people, I'll open right up and I'll talk about everything. Red Rose says M Bells. I have many books of Rumi. Noah says Red Rose, really, I would be really interested in that. Yeah, that's it. We'll get on Instagram, get back on Instagram, Noah and M and Bells, and we can all chat on Instagram. Red Rose says M and Bells. Yes, I'll be looking for is it George or George Boucher? See, I don't know if I'm saying it right. Emin Bell says, I read the one with the elephant on the cover. Come, I'll tell you a story. He has several books. Also, for loss and pain, it takes you back to a place full of fairy tales. This sounds awesome. Sounds like, like a classic, like, one of those legendary writers or poets or whatever. I'm definitely going to look it up. I've just gotten into ebooks, I've got like, I don't know how many I've got now on my phone, like 5 or 6. And I'm already a third of the way through The Body Keeps the Score. It's a really good book. It just flows. It's really well written. So I'm reading like a couple of chapters a day since I got it. So I'll have it finished soon. Red Rose says, Emin Bells with the hugs. See, I've caught up to the chat. Normally I'm so far behind on the chat, but I've caught up tonight. Red Rose says, yes, I have that book. There you go. It is wonderful. Emin Bells says, you can get it as an ebook. The stories are short. Yeah, there you go. I don't have credit. I was gonna see if I could buy it right now, but I don't have credit. What was the name of it? It was called Come I'll Tell You a Story. But have you checked out, Emmon Bells? Have you been listening to the audio book of Pete Walker's book yet? Because it's pretty good. Noah says, I like that, Emmon Bells. My dad's the bestest. He brought me here, I'm sure. Red Rose says, Noah Small with the hearts. I know, with the hugs and the 100% and the hearts. So this is a nice, fun chat tonight, and we're all talking about books and stuff we like to read. Eamon Bell says, not yet. I'm reading Sinead O'Connor's book instead. Oh, so like her autobiography or something? Red Rose says, yeah, I love Sinead O'Connor's music. And she passed away, didn't she, last year, was it? Noah says, we can probably get it in the site our friend here recommended. Yeah, that's it. Although that library, I found out that library wasn't the right one, so I've got to be careful with that if I put links in the chat. So that was just me Googling and then putting this thing in the chat, and I found out afterwards that it wasn't the right site, so I've got to be careful with that. Yes, Red Rose says she passed. Yes, Sinead O'Connor passed away. Sad. Emmon Bell says, yeah, so unfortunate. She's just got so far with her healing, That's it. Noah says, oh, okay, Luke. Yeah, that's it. Well, apparently it was just the wrong one. It was a fake one. That's what Solly said. He said, yeah, that's not not a real site. So Happy Hermit's here. How you going, Happy Hermit? We're having an awesome chat tonight. We're talking about poems and books, and it's funny because remember when you joined the other night, we were talking about Walden. So yeah, we're talking about poems and books to read at the moment. So Happy Hermit says, hey, how's it going? Have you started reading Walden yet? There you go. No, I haven't yet, mate. It's only because I'm reading 2 other books at the moment. But I tell you what, I actually, no, I have started. I've started the introduction to the book. So before the book starts, there's like an introduction, which is like a biography. So of Thoreau, like it talks about his life. So I've started reading that. So I haven't actually got to the start of the book yet, but I have started reading it. So I will be starting it actually maybe tonight or tomorrow, because like my dad said, you know, you can just read it bit by bit. You don't necessarily want to sit down and read the whole. You could just sit down and just read it cover to cover, but you'll enjoy just reading each chapter as a separate thing, because that's sort of what it is, isn't it? Like each chapter is more like an essay, like its own thing. So, but yeah, Walden, I can't wait. And that was great. We had that chat about that the other night. Noah says thank you. Red Rose says happy hermit with the exclamation marks. Happy hermit says hi. Red Rose says yay, happy hermit's here with the roses. Noah says hi, happy hermit. Yeah, that's all. Happy hermit says, yeah, we need to start a book club. If you tell me what you're reading, I'll pick it up. Well, I'm reading The Body Keeps the Score at the moment, which is from Bessel van der Kolk, which is like all about trauma and healing trauma. That's why I haven't really started Walden yet, just because I want to finish that book. I'm like a third of the way through, and it's really enthralling. So, but maybe I'll put that down and I'll start reading Walden and read a few chapters. But that's a great idea, Happy Hermit. Like, we should start a book club. Yeah, and we can all read we'll pick a book once a month and we'll all read it. You know, that's the other book I got the other day, the Tao Te Ching. So I've got a copy of that with 6 different translations. So that's another book I'm reading. I've started that, and that's because it's got 6 translations. Each translation has an introduction by the person who did the translation, so it's pretty interesting. And it was only a few dollars for the ebook, so it was good. Red Rose says yes, Happy Hermit, 100%, 100%, 100%. Yeah, book club. That's a great idea. We'll turn this into a book club. Once a month, we'll pick a book and we can all read it. Red Rose says, Happy Hermit, Luke is going to love it so much. Yeah, I really look forward to reading Walden. You know, it's going to be, you know, it's one of those books that I've heard about, you know, for a long time, and I'm only finally getting around to reading it now. So I have started it, but I haven't actually got to the start of the book. Emin Bell says, hello, Happy Hermit, with a smiling face. Happy Hermit says, I listened to the audio book of that. It's good. And you must be referring to the Tao Te Ching, maybe, or Walden. I'm not sure. Noah says, I already joined a book club with Jade. She's nice to me. I really like her and her hubby. That's cool. So you're already in a book club. Emin Bells says, I love your idea. Well, we can have a book club here as well. Maybe we should have a rule that it's got to be a book you can get like for just a few dollars as an ebook, like, you know, cheap like special classics, you know, classics that you can get for $2 on Kindle or Google Books or something, or the Apple equivalent. Red Rose says that would be such fun, book club, exclamation mark with the roses. Noah says, okay, yes, Luke book club, I'm in. It's happening. See, it's something, there's always something unexpected that happens in these chats. We never know what's going to happen. And so tonight we've realized we're going to start a book club, and I'm writing this down. And because, you know, like obviously a big part of this channel is talking about complex trauma and healing and stuff like that. So we do talk about the books that are written about that stuff. But maybe the book club will be classics. I've got an idea, like you know, classics like Tao Te Ching, and maybe like, what's the name of the classic Rumi book? You know, like, because I haven't read I've read lots of Rumi's quotes and things, but I've never read any of the books. So that would be a good one. And I'm sure it only costs like $2 on Google Books or something like that. So where are we? Yeah, Red Rose has got like all the books emojis. Emin Bell says, "So cool, Noah. Do you have a favorite one, Red Rose? Any idea?" See, that's it. We're thinking about ideas. Happy Hermit says, "A book you'd enjoy is Who Ordered This Pile of Dung?" by Ajahn Brahm. I got to write that down. Who ordered this pile of dung? That sounds like a funny book. Red Rose says, that is awesome, Noah Schmore. Red Rose says, Emin Bells, oh my goodness, I have so many. I love to read. Yeah, I've got lots of books too. Most of my books are non-fiction. You know, I need to. You know, I got a lot of like. A big fan of J.R. Tolkien, and yeah, that's probably my favorite author. Red Rose says, I collect books too. Red Rose says, yeah, you should see my bedroom. I'm sure there's, yeah, Red Rose says, books are piled high on my dresser. That's awesome. Noah says, Jade, the Libra book. I couldn't finish it after the sheep stuffs. So, so I don't know if you're saying we should read it or not, because you said you couldn't finish it. Red Rose says there's books everywhere. Red Rose says, I'm a huge bibliophile. Crusoe's here. How you going, Crusoe? Good to see you here, mate. Hi, Luke. I've been having a ball in Chinatown today. Awesome. Chinatown's awesome. I used to go to in my city, we used to have markets, and there'd be markets in one that you'd have Chinatown and the mall next to it. And I used to go in on Saturdays, and used to be good fun. And then also for Chinese New Year, that would always be fun. But that's cool. And the supermarkets, I used to enjoy going to the Chinese supermarkets and buying all the food from there. Red Rose says Rumi, exclamation marks. Yes, I think Rumi's got to be on the list for the book club. Crusoe, we decided we're starting a book club here. So we're going to pick a book once a month and that we all have to read. And we're going to do the classics. So I'm just started reading Walden by Henry David Thoreau, and that's a big favorite for like Red Rose and Happy Hermit. So, but we've got Rumi on the cards as a potential book. And I just got the Tao Te Ching, so I think that one should be in the book club, because it's only like you can get that for like $1 as an ebook, probably even free. Red Rose says, Crusoe Bauer, hello with the roses. Crusoe Bauer says, I want you to help me find a girlfriend. I've been seeing a girl at the Hong massage parlor. Classic. But she's not your girlfriend, obviously. I'd like to find a girlfriend myself, mate. I don't get out of the house, so I don't even know how that's going to happen. First, I've got to actually get out of the house, and then I've got to go to a, a bar or music venue or something like that. But my anxiety is too high, and I'm hesitant to look at dating apps, so I don't know what to do. Crusoe Bow says hello. Noah says hi, Crusoe. But yeah, we'll see what we can do about finding you a girlfriend there, Crusoe. Emin Bell says, wow, Red Rose, I would feel so comfortable being surrounded by books. Yeah, it is. It's good being surrounded by books. You feel their presence. Like you can see I got all those books there. But what you can't see is on the other side of this bookshelf is another bookshelf, which is full of books. And these bookshelves here don't have books, but there's another bookshelf back there that's full of books. Noah says, I know workbooks lame, but who stole my cheese? Is that the name of the book? Who Stole My Cheese? I'll write that down. These sound like interesting books. Like, Who Ordered This Pile of Dung is one. I think that was Happy Hermit said that one. And then Noah said, Who Stole My Cheese? Red Rose says, I'm currently reading a book called The Love Poems of Rumi, translated by Nader Khalil. That could be on the short list, Red Rose, for the book club. Because I was saying Rumi should be one that a book, So maybe that's the book, The Love Poems of Rumi. And that could actually help Crusoe find his girlfriend. He could read the love poems of Rumi and then recite when he meets a woman. Like he can start quoting Rumi, and then she'll fall in love with him. So see, it all falls into place. It all, Red Rose says Ammon Bells with the hugs. Ammon Bells says hi, Crusoe, with the smiley face. Yes, Crusoe says book club meeting. It is. Totally, it's book club meeting. We're working out what books. I'm writing down. I've got a list of books here already. So what I'll do is all the books that I write down here, I'll look up how much they cost on to buy the ebook, and then if they're cheap enough, I think for the book club, the books have got to be cheap, so they've got to be like classics that you can buy cheap. So that's one of the sort of prerequisites. Ammon Bell says, if you want to get to know more about Japan, then go for Haruki Murakami. Yeah, I haven't read Murakami, but I know lots of people who've read Murakami. Very heavy, super descriptive. Lots of people love Murakami. Naoko's Smile. I'll write that one down. Happiest Hermit says, I'm around your age and I've accepted that I'll likely be single for the rest of my life. The old days of meeting women are long gone. I've no interest in apps. Yeah. But you never know, mate. You might, because you're traveling around, you know, you never know. See, it might just happen to you because you're not looking for it, you know, and you might find this woman that just appears in your life and you're perfect for each other. So the main thing is that what you is not the main thing is if you're enjoying your life and you're doing what you want to be doing, um, you know, and on this, yeah, I'm like you're the same. You don't want to go near the apps for that stuff, you know. Happy Hermit says, "Yeah, I'm content with me and my doggy." And you're mobile. You can travel around. You know, you're not tied down. That's a pretty cool life, you know, being able to work online and travel around. Red Rose has got the hugs. Red Rose continues, "Y'all, we need to make a name for our book club. What do we need to call it? We should call it. Um, I don't know. We'll think about that. We've got a bit of time to think about that because they've got to be classic. They've got to be classic eclectic books. We've already got an idea of like Rumi, the love poems of Rumi. That's one book that we should probably put on the list. I just got the Tao Te Ching, and that's a classic that Red Rose has got a physical copy of that one. That's one that's a classic, you know, and it only costs a couple of dollars to buy that as an ebook. So the rules would be you've got to be able to buy the book cheaply because it's a classic. Like Walden was only like $6 or something, you know. So maybe Walden should be on it as well. Now that I'm reading it, I've just started it. But yeah, we'll have to think of the name for the book club. We don't have to hurry with that. We'll it's got to have a cool name. Emin Bell says, but then you're a young hermit, no need for pressure. Maybe talk about your passion and stay in balance with talking and asking questions. That's it. Because you never know what happens. You know, life just happens, doesn't it? Libby, yes, that's Happy Hermit says you can get free books through Libby. My dad put me onto that by just joining a library online. And I think that works with in my country. It connects through our local libraries and stuff. So I'll write that down. See, that makes it even better if we pick books that we can actually hire out from the library. I think the other thing that books that we choose have got to be short, you know, like a couple of hundred pages. No epics, no epic books that are like 1,000 pages or anything like that. They've got to be short novels. not too big. But that's a really good point, Happy Hermit. Libby, it's like an app you get for your tablet or your phone, and it connects with libraries. Yeah, that's a Happy Hermit continues. Consider creating a Discord server for us to chat, and I could provide instructions for the free books and apps through libraries. We have sort of talked about. I used to have Discord, and then I got rid of it, so I could restart up a Discord server. We were earlier, Happy Hermit. We were talking about all getting on Instagram and using that as a chat thing. Because you can have on Instagram, you can have groups as well where you all chat together. But Discord is probably better. But we'll keep that in mind. I'll write that down, Happy Hermit. I'll write Discord down because that's something to think about. Certainly something to think about. We should get something like that set up, especially if we're going to have a book club. We need to have like a central meeting point, whether it's Instagram or whether it's Discord. Because Facebook, not Facebook, YouTube doesn't have any of that stuff. Noah says, "Oop it. Who moved my cheese? Work, but help to manage." Oh, so I wrote it down wrong, did I? I wrote down who stole my cheese. So Noah, you'll have to confirm that one. Red Rose says, "Happy Hermit, what breed of fur baby do you have?" Noah says, "Yeah, like Emin Bells already have us in Luke's insomnia group." That's it. That's it. That was fun the other night, chatting till like 6 a.m. It helped me. I think it was the day after that I actually got a full night's sleep. Noah says, "Yeah, I know." Happy Hermit says, "I have a Great Dane." Wow, you got a Great Dane and you travel around. That must like take up the whole caravan and keep you busy when you go for walks too. I used to have a cat, and it used to have a fight. It used to fight a Great Dane. It used to like where I lived. You know how you have uh, like wrought iron, like metal railings for like stairs, like balustrades, metal railings, and this Great Dane used to jump the fence and go wandering through the neighborhood, and it used to come right up to the bedroom, and my cat used to stand on the other side of the metal um, railing and just sit there and just like swing at it. This Great Dane, and it was like huge. It was huge. It was so tall that it was like standing at it, like at the steps, halfway up the steps. But the cat was like safe, and it was like hissing at it, and like it wasn't afraid of this Great Dane because it was like protected by the metal railing. I always thought that was funny. Red Rose says, "Happy Hermit, I have a pom pin. Here's my baby boy." Noah says, What's Libby?" Libby is a app you get for your phone or your tablet, and it's Libby is like a library app that you can have on your phone, and you can or tablet, and you can download or rent out, not rent out, hire out. What do you call it from you get from libraries? I forget the word. You borrow. That's the word. You borrow books from libraries. See, it's been so long since I've been to a library that I forgot the word for it. So you can borrow books in digital form. So Libby's the app that you get, and it's like an ebook library, and it interfaces with in Australia. I think it connects with your local library. So I think it works worldwide, but you've got to be a member of a library. I think it asks for your library card or your number when you go into the app. That's what I've been explained. I don't know enough about it. But what we'll do is I'll do some research, and so next time we do a live stream, we'll have developed this book club idea a little bit further. Happy Hermit. Oh no, wait. Red Rose says, "Happy Hermit, awesome. I used to have a Great Dane. Her name was Priscilla." That's classic. Happy Hermit says, "Oh, that's cute." Noah, if you Google Libby, it will take you directly to sign up. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that right now. Emin Bell says, "Oh no, Noah says, okay, thanks." Emin Bell says, "A classic, Ian McEwan. If you don't like to read, a few books got filmed." Yeah, I've heard the name Ian McEwan. Is it's a modern author, isn't it? Yeah, here we go. Here, Libby, it's on Google. I think I've got to go and sign up with my local library, and then I put the library number in. I think that's how it works. But I'll write down Ian McEwan. See, I'm writing down all these people. So we'll have to get a short list of authors and short list of books, and then we'll have to pick what the first book is. Red Rose says Emin Bell's 100%. So Red Rose must love Ian McEwan stuff. And Emin Bell says, "True Noah, insomnia comes first." So maybe we should call it the Insomnia Book Club. You know, I think we've got the name. How about that? The Insomnia Book Club. Red Rose has got like the emojis of the snoring, sleeping with the snoring. Noah says, "Yeah, laughing." The Emin Bells and Luke Insomnia group wore me out. I slept so good. Lol. That's awesome. So it worked. It did work. So it worked. That was good. I had a great time that night. And I looked back at the video the next day, and I looked at myself and I was just like, man, you look like, like completely different. And it was because I hadn't slept and I was really tired. But then by the end of the night, like, I was like getting really, you could see the tiredness in my eyes and stuff. Um, how cool is this? We're going to start a book club. What do you reckon about the name? Well, let's join the two together and we'll call it the Insomnia Book Club. So if you've got insomnia, at least you can read a book. Red Rose says, I love libraries. I do too. I used to spend a lot of time in libraries when I was younger. I used to go into the state library and big library and just spend all day there. It was the best, just learning about all different stuff. And, it was before the internet. So they had music collections and video collections as well. So you could watch documentaries. And so all the documentaries and listen to music. It was great. And then all the books, all the amazing books. Emin Bell says, glad to hear that, Noah. See purpose fulfilled. That's it. Red Rose says, yeah, I love the library so much that my librarian gave me a special library card where I get to borrow books from a bunch of different libraries in a large region, all using my card. Hey, that's pretty special. That's pretty special. That's like, it's like getting like the special members card. Red Rose continues, they don't give out many of these cards, so I was happy and honoured for the opportunity. That's it. And see, obviously, they know that you not only love books, but know that you're good with them, like you return them and all that stuff. So Noah's got the smiling face. Red Rose has got the hugs. Ammon Bell says, oh, Red Rose, such a beautiful gesture. If my brain would work, I'd love to work as a librarian, with the smiling face with the hearts for the eyes. But our ones are very cold, structured, not cozy at all. So I stopped going. Yeah, they've got to be like welcoming, friendly places, The like the state library I used to go to, I haven't been for years, but they had whole sections that had these really comfortable chairs. So you could sit in these sort of like recliner chairs and like enjoy reading. And the cubicles, like you could have a cubicle where like you wouldn't get distracted, so you could work and study there. And the other cool thing about the library was it had these big windows that looked out over onto the river. So you could be sitting in the library looking out at the river. Red Rose says, Emin Bells, yes, libraries are so awesome. Happy Hermit says, I just love the smell of libraries. It's hard to find good libraries these days because so many of them have a ton of computers, and it just attracts undesirables. Yeah, it has changed like that, hasn't it? Like whole sections of them are just like computers now. Noah says, oh, really? My librarian never told me anything good. So yeah, I think it all comes down to like, whether you got a good, like, there's good libraries and then there's average libraries. That's what we sort of worked out, Red Rose says, Happy Hermit, I agree. The smell of libraries, and I love the smell of books, most especially the old books. Yeah, like I used to love going to the not just libraries. Like there used to be this, I don't even know if it's still there, but there was this bookstore in the city, like a secondhand bookstore, and it was huge. And like, because they were all old books, like, you know, you walk in and it's the smell of the old books. And yeah, brings back memories. Emin Bell says, yeah, they changed it so deeply. Only computers. Only one human who doesn't want to be bothered. No reading corner. Only for kids. Tons of computers. And it changed the smell, you know? Yeah, that's it. Well, computers, they smell like electronics. You know, it's a whole different thing. And you got the buzz, you got the sound of the fans and the computers and the tapping away on the keyboards and the clicks of the mouse. It's not the same as the sound of, you know, libraries used to hear that sound in libraries. People opening books and shutting books and turning pages. Red Rose says to Noah Schmore, with the sad face with the tear. Yeah, that's sad that Noah doesn't have a good library nearby. But I downloaded Libby. I've got Libby on my phone now, so I think I've just got to start a library. I've got to put in my library card number. And it's been so long since I've had one. I've probably got to get another one again. Red Rose says, yeah, love bookstores. Yeah, I love the secondhand bookstores especially. Emin Bell says, but if you go to the market, you catch this beautiful smell, the beauty of the covers. You can feel it under your fingers. That's it. Something about books. They, you know, must be like the glue and the paper, what the paper was made out of or something, you know. Red Rose says Emin Bells with the hugs. And then Noah says to Red Rose with a very sad face. And then the sad face goes to sort of the angry smiley face. See, the emojis are always ambiguous. I don't know how to read them sometimes. So I do my best. Happy Hermit says, I have another book recommendation: The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. I'll write that down. We're getting a few books here for the recommendation, so you know we're building up a list. Happy Hermit says, if you watch that movie, bring tissues. So it's a bit of a sad one, or emotional, but that's good. I like movies and books that are emotional. Emin Bell says, thank you, Hermit, with the smiling face. You made me curious. Which one did you like more, the book or the movie? Red Rose says, yeah, I almost started up a book club a few months ago as part of Silent Book Club community, but I decided not to at this time because I wasn't ready for that kind of commitment continued in case I couldn't be there every time. Well, see, the beauty about this book club is it'll be informal. I think we'll just like pick a book and then like you get a couple of weeks to read it. But the books have got to be short books. They can't be long books, and they got to be cheap or easy to get from a library or something. Can't be books that take like weeks to read. You know, like H.G. Wells or something like that. It's like 100 pages or something, you know. Classics that are just short books. Noah says, I'll watch that maybe tonight. It's a scary live. It's a scary stream live. Someone was nice, kept me company the time. Red Rose says, Happy Hermit. Yes, I have that book and I love it. So there you go. There's 2 people that already have that book. So that means maybe we could, it's on the, I've written it down, so it's on the list. Emin Bell says, I really know it. Did you watch a movie together as you, oh, that was Noah said that, yeah. Emin Bell says, oh, really know it. Did you watch a movie together as you talked about it in the streams? So cool. I'm going to have to take a toilet break. So I'll be back in a few minutes and I'm going to have to fill up my water bottle because I've been drinking water. But this is awesome. We're having fun tonight. We're talking about books to read. See, who knew? Yeah, I think I will make a Discord or something like Discord. That's exactly it. If we make a Discord, don't worry too much about book prices and whatnot. We can share copies as needed. That's a good idea. Noah says, yes, Emin Bell's Ripper Person watched a movie here, was good on self-harm. I didn't cut myself. I haven't watched a horror movie for ages, eh? I used to like watching horror movies and scary stuff, but I haven't watched a horror movie for a long time. Or even just a movie in general. You know, I sort of stopped watching movies and shows, TV shows and all that. So it's sort of good that I'm getting back into books because I'd stopped reading books for a long time. So I'd much rather read books at the moment. Books and music. Anyway, I'll be back in a minute. Noah says, not too scary, but it's Halloween pre-month. It's getting close to Halloween, isn't it? So we don't really celebrate. I mean, some people sort of celebrate Halloween here. Most people do is have parties, dress up parties in Australia, but it's massive in America. It's like a national holiday type, not a holiday, but it's like massive. Red Rose says, I lost signal for a sec, but you're back, which is good. Noah says, yeah, black and white, scary, classic film, classic scary film, good, nice company. I'm a big fan of the classic movies, like all classic noir. And YouTube, there's heaps of the classic black and white movies on YouTube. Red Rose says, yeah, I'm still here. I'm still there. Yeah, we are. I'm here. Emin Bell says, yeah, just so hungry I made myself some beans. I swear there's a Brit in me. Maybe that's what I'll have for dinner, some baked beans. I haven't had baked beans in a while. Noah says, Luke's in the potty. Red Rose, countdown. That's it. Red Rose has got howling. Noah's laughing. I was pretty quick this time. You know, I tried to be as quick as possible. But I keep sipping this water, so eventually I'll have to go to the toilet, see? But yeah, we've got a short list of we've got a short list of books here. I'll write all this stuff down. I'm looking at the list, so 5 seconds over. Emin Bell says, Red Rose, please let me know if you start your book club. Yeah, that's it. But I think we're going to start a book club here. So maybe Red Rose can be like, she can help run the book club here. Red Rose says, yeah, it's 5:30 in the morning here, and I'm eating roast and potatoes, still awake. That's it. Good breakfast. Good time of the day to be eating roast and potatoes. Red Rose says, M Bells, you got it with the hearts. There we go. Sending a few hearts into the sky. Oh, MJG's here. How you going, MJG? Hello, everyone. And Luke, of course. How you going, MJG? Good to see you here, mate. We're talking about interesting books to read. We're thinking about, like, we've come up with this idea of doing a favorite book. That's it. What's your favorite book, Luke? Oh, that's a difficult question. Probably J.R. Tolkien's The Silmarillion is probably my favorite. I've read that many times. I reckon that'd have to be my favorite book. Noah says to Red Rose, yeah, it's 3:32 here. What are you doing to us, Luke? I'm sorry. That's the thing, eh? It's like, it's 8:33 p.m. here, so it's only early evening here. So it's all right for me, but it's like super late at night for you guys. And then thinking about that insomnia stream that I did, actually, that would have been during the daytime for you. So that wouldn't have been too bad. Or in the afternoon or something. But on last week, it was like that time of the night for me. Red Rose says, MJG, hello with the roses. Noah says, hi, MJG. MJG says, I know it's not one. Yeah, what's the time there? Like, it's sometime in the afternoon. Red Rose Poetess has the hugs. Noah says, who, question mark. I don't know. I don't know who either. Red Rose says, Noah Small. Wahaha, love it. Yeah, MJG says, yeah, lunchtime here. Yeah, so it is. It's around 1 o'clock in the RV. In the RV, that's an Aussie's. We say afternoon. We say RV, or Arvo is short for afternoon. Arvo, RV. With Australian slang, usually you'll cut the word in half and you put O at the end. It makes that's your abbreviation. Yeah, Noah says the same thing as what MJG said. What's your favorite book, Luke? I said the Silmarillion before, which is like one of J.R. Tolkien's books, which is like the prequel to like Lord of the Rings, set before it all. I'd have to say that's my favorite, just because I've read it the most times out of any book. Emin Bell says, well, hello there, MJG, with a smiley face. MJG says hi with the hands waving. Red Rose says, Emin Bell's thank you with the hugs and the roses and the hearts. There you go. It's 12:35 in where MJG is, which is the Netherlands, isn't it? Noah, oh, sorry, no. Emin Bell says, Noah, where do you come from again? Was it Florida? No, she's San Diego. If I'm correct, which I forgot. I remember when I was like, oh, where's San Diego? And it's like, I forgot it's in California. That's how. But you gotta. I apologize for my lack of knowledge when it comes to like places. Arvi, that's it. Noah says Arvi. That's afternoon in Australian slang. Or Arvo. Arvo, either or. Red Rose says, Bell's how amazing, because you know what? I'm planning on watching the Titanic movie today. Wow. I've been thinking about that movie for days for some reason. I tell you, I've never seen the movie The Titanic. I've never seen it. Maybe I should watch it one day. I've seen bits of it, but I've never watched it, the whole movie. Bell says, oh yeah, the same time here, MJG, you're from the Netherlands. MJG says, yes, Emma Bells, you too. Emma Bells, she's Swiss, so Switzerland. So you must be on near each other on the same line. MJG's got the roses. Red Rose says, I have that book too. MJG says, can someone write the title of book? I don't know what book you're thinking of, but Noah's got the Australian slang down perfect now. Noah says, huh? Past Arvo here in San Diego. So that's it. It's getting into the evening. Emin Bell says, no way, I got goosebumps because it wasn't the first time it reminded me of Titanic. I hope you have a fantastic movie night. Noah says, what? You have to see Titanic. You'll cry like a baby and feel good after. There you go. I'll watch it for you now, Noah. I'll watch it. I don't know how. Like, it's probably on Netflix. Maybe I'll look for it on Netflix or something. Surely it's on Netflix. Red Rose says Luke with the exclamation marks. Yeah, look, I haven't seen it, but I've seen bits of it. I know what happens. I've seen the ending. I've seen the ending of it, so I know what happens. Oh, obviously the ship sinks, right? Yeah, but yeah, I know like that ending scene and stuff like that. But that's okay. You know, like when you know the end of a movie before you see the whole thing, doesn't wreck it. Sometimes it wrecks it. But Emin Bell says, yeah, what title do you mean, MJG? Well, was he asking what I was saying? Oh, yeah, favourite book, Luke. Yeah, The Silmarillion by J.R.R. Tolkien. So Silmarillion. And they've made like the new Lord of the Rings show that's on Amazon Prime. Is sort of based on the Silmarillion. And I haven't watched any of them. Sea Lion. Yeah, no, I'll type it in. That's it. That's funny. It sounded like I was saying sea lion. Noah says, yes, please. MJG says, salient. Oh, yeah. Look, I'm gonna watch that Titanic movie now, and I'm gonna cry like a baby, according to Noah, which I probably will, because it does get emotional, doesn't it? Noah says, I wonder how come that's not. Oh, I wonder how that's not come on my recommended books. I don't get it either. Don't know. But we've got a good short list of books, so that's good. We got there's the app, the Libby app, which I've got on my thing. Love Poems of Rumi. Who Ordered This Pile of Dung? Who Stole My Cheese? Naoko's Smile. Got Ian McEwan books. The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. George Boucher, Come I'll Tell You a Story. Herman Hesse, In the Mist. So we've got a list of books here. There you go. Rings of Power is on my recommended. Yeah, there you go. That's the name of the series. Yep. But I think that's based on the Silmarillion. I don't know for sure, but anyway. It's pretty cool though. Like we've come up with the idea of like, yeah. Noah says, okay, I'll watch it anyway. Yeah, apparently the first season is okay, not that good, but then the second season gets better, from what I hear. And they spent a lot of money making it. But I just I don't have Amazon, so that's why I just haven't watched it. But yeah, if you've got it, check it out. Well, we've got a short list of books here, so we'll have to start a book club. Noah says, yes, tons of money. Alexa is so lame sometimes. That's classic. Totally spends money on millions and millions of dollars on stuff. It doesn't always work out. So it must be getting like pretty late, and it must be almost 4 a.m. now, Noah. I'm sorry to be doing this to you. You need to be getting some sleep. See? There you go. Yeah, but it's cool. She can turn the lights. I think it says turn the lights off or on. I have difficulty reading like the latest comment because the love heart thing's sitting there, and I can't read the last word. So YouTube's got to fix that. It makes it like so you can't read what the last comment is properly. It's annoying. I mean, it's cool they got the love heart thing there, and you can like click the button and send the hearts flying up into the sky. I love doing that. But yeah, that's it. We got them going. But then I can't read what the last comment is. So we've got, I reckon, for next. Well, I've written down all these books, and what I'll do is I'll write them all on a bit of paper and like tear them up into little bits of paper, and I'll see that hat up there. I'll put it in the hat, and I'll get a bit of paper out of the hat, and I'll read it out, and it'll be like a book, and that'll be our first book for the book club. How's that sound? And we'll do that next week. Noah says, I like Tolkien, but I love Geiger art. Yeah, Geiger's awesome. I used to get right into Geiger's art. And I wanted to do I love like his airbrush stuff. MJG says yes. Yes, that's it. Tolkien and Geiger, they're both legends. Noah says yes, that sounds good, Luke. Awesome. So that's what we're going to do. That hat I've got up there, I'll put like I'll pull out of the hat like a bit of paper, and that'll be our first book for the book club. MJG says I must look for Geiger, Noah. But Geiger's he was an artist that did all the airbrush art and sculptures and stuff like that. Noah says yes, I have the heart on the side now. Yeah, that's it. You can't see what the last words are when I love having the heart thing there, but you can't read the words. MJG says I like the traveling book from Redmond O'Hanlon, Congo, etc. I'm going to write that one down. Redmond O'Hanlon. So he's written a few books or something by the sound of it. So one of them's Congo. There we go. There's another book to put in the list. Yes, it's like you walk with the traveling. Shit, my English is not good today. That's all right, man. I can work out what you're saying. So it's like a memoir type traveling book. That sounds cool. I like books like that, where it's like you're through the lens of the person. How cool is this? We've come up with an idea tonight to start a book club, and we're going to read a book. But we've got to give ourselves like once a month or something to read it. We can't like pressure. We can't put too much pressure on ourselves to like read. And the books have got to be short. They can't be super long, and they got to be cheap or easy to get from a library. So, I've got a short list of ones here. So I'm going to look them all up. Noah says, MJG, it's okay. My English is sometimes not good. That's all right. Yeah. And, me too. Also from Hanlon, Orinoco and Amazone. So we've got two options there from O'Hanlon. What was it? Orinoco. and in Amazone. Noah says, yeah, typically Southern Cali. Hee. SoCal. Emin Bell says, me too. Or I'm mixing the words in my head. It's all right. That's it. Noah says, Emin Bells, you're Swiss. Yeah, so everyone does well because we speak English in here, you know. So we all, you know, we all do well. We're coming up to 3 hours. I reckon I'll probably end the stream at 3 hours because I'm pretty tired tonight. I've had a big day today. It was my brain's starting to sort of fail on me. But it's been fun, hey, like we've got something to think about. I've got a list of books here to look up. I've got homework to do. So everyone's given us suggestions for books, and Emin Bell says yes with the smiley face with the sweat, and then MJG's got the tears, laughing tears. Noah says Swiss is so cool. It totally is. I've always wanted to go to Switzerland. You know, you've got like, and Switzerland's got like a really rich history. You know, goes back thousands of years. Noah says it's almost 4 a.m. There you go. See, it's getting like you need to get some sleep, Noah. I don't want to be responsible for you not getting sleep. And if it's my fault, you're not getting sleep. But I suppose that's why we're going to call the book club the Insomnia Book Club. See, we've got a name for it. And it means that if you've got insomnia, at least you've got a book to read. MJG says, is there any snow? Is there already snow, M? M says, no, we don't have soul, we just adjust. We're not so innocent. If you follow, oh, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I know that if you go back in history, there's obviously all that stuff. But you know, you go back and it used to be like the Romans used to be in Switzerland at one point. Emin Bell says, yeah, not at my place, but there is a big amount of snow an hour away. So yeah, you must be pretty close to the Alps. Noah says, Luke Emin Bell's insomnia group. That's it. No, that's what we're going to call the book club, the insomnia book club. MJG says, yeah, yes, I read in the news, very early snow. That is very early snow. Like it's only just the start of autumn. So we're at the start of spring. Noah says San Diego's good just to drive away from the snow and desert. Best of both worlds. Yeah, that's it. And you're also close to the ocean too, aren't you? Red Rose is back. I stepped away. I have some chocolate chip cookies baking them now. That's pretty cool. There you go. There's the choc chip cookies. Red Rose has got them in the emojis. Emin Bell says, yeah, it went from 1 week hot summer to let's skip autumn. Winter is here. Wow, that's a massive change. Hey, so it's gotten really cold. Interesting. MJG's like, that could be for the cookies, or it could be for the winter. Could be for both. Red Rose has got some milkshakes as well. Yeah, that's it. It's for the cookies. It's making me hungry. I've got to get. That's what I got to. I'm going to get dinner soon. Noah says, "Happy it's fall time." Yes, the ocean's 2-minute drive. That's awesome. So you've got like Noah's. You got ocean is 2 minutes away in your car, and then you've got mountains with snow, and then you've got desert within short range. Like you've got everything. It's like the whole lot. Emin Bell says, cookies and milk, yummy. Yeah, that's good. It's making me hungry. I'm like when I finish the stream, I'm gonna get some dinner. So what it's like 52 hours, 57 minutes. I reckon I'll probably end the stream at 3 hours, just because I gotta go make dinner. And I've had a long day. My brain's not working. But it's been fun. I've had fun tonight. We've got lots of book ideas. We've got an idea for a book club. Like it's all happening. We've got a name for the book club. It's the Insomnia Book Club. Red Rose has got the waves. That's it. SoCal, Southern California. Red Rose says, yeah, I would love to live near the ocean. You're within maybe how long does it take for you, Red Rose, to get to the ocean? You're maybe an hour and a half drive. It's about 40 minutes is the closest for me. It's about an hour and a half. No, it's about an hour to get to the ocean from where I live. MJG says, what are you going to make for dinner, Luke? I made pizza for lunch, so I might just have leftover pizza. Unless I'll offer it to my mum first, but like if she doesn't want any, I'll have the pizza. So yeah, I think but that won't be enough. There's only like a couple of pieces of pizza there, so I'll need to make something else substantial. But someone mentioned baked beans earlier. That was Emin Bell. She was like saying that's the Brit in her. And I was like, oh, we got some tins of baked beans. Maybe I'll have some baked beans. So I might have baked beans and pizza. Good combo. Yeah, Red Rose says, me too. I've enjoyed visiting with y'all so much. Yeah, it's been good fun tonight. Hey, Red Rose. No, many hours. So it is many hour drive. You're like, so to go to the ocean for you is like, you don't just do it for the day. You've got to like stay. You got to be going there to stay overnight type thing. That's fair enough. That's it. You're in the northern part of the state. But that's also cool because that means you're close to all these other states nearby. You can cross the border and go into like other states. MJG says, Rose, it was fun to see you again. All you as well, MJG. Yeah, I've had we've all had good fun tonight. We're cracking 3 hours now, so like I'll probably shut the stream down any minute. So it's good to say we're all saying goodbyes. And I've got a full list of books here. Red Rose wasn't here when we came up with the idea, but like I'm gonna write all these books down in a short list, and that hat up there, I'm gonna write down all the names of the books, and I'm gonna put them in the hat, and I'll draw a bit of paper out of the hat, and I'll read it out, and that'll be the first book in our book club. So that's what's going to happen next stream next week. So yeah, that's going to be fun. Red Rose, yeah, says you as well, MJG, with the roses. Emin Bell says it was a pleasure with you all, with the big smiley face. It was. Thanks, Emin Bells. MJG says bye, Luke, Rose, Noah, M. Red Rose says I'll send you all much love and light. Wishes for a wonderful week. That's a lovely comment there, Rose. The roses and the hearts, and MJG's got the green hearts, and then Happy Hermit's here. How you going, Happy Hermit? You must be back. We're just about to shut the stream down, Happy Hermit. But we've got a short list of all the books. I've written down all the books. So next week I'm gonna draw out of the hat the first book for the book club, and it's going to be called the Insomnia Book Club. Red Rose, MJ, Noah says MJG, Red Rose, Emin Bells, Sweetest Night. Emin Bell says, yeah, have a good one, Noah, Rose, MJG, and Luke. Red Rose, Noah's with the hugs. Noah's, thank you so much, Angel Luke. Oh, thank you, Noah. That's a lovely, beautiful comment. I've got to watch Titanic now for you and cry like a baby. MJG's got the hugs. Red Rose got Emin Bells with the hugs. Emin Bells says, I can't make it to the next 2 ones. I got my son over here. Oh, that's unfortunate, but it's good that you'll have your son. So you'll be able to catch up maybe on the replay. But that's awesome that you got your son for the next few weeks. So that's really awesome. And Red Rose says, Happy Hermit, hugs with the roses and the hearts. Red Rose says MJG with the hugs and the hearts and the roses. Red Rose says Luke with the hugs and the roses and the hearts. MJG says enjoy with your son, M. And then MJG's got the roses. Noah says have fun with your son, M and Bells. Red Rose says if I missed anyone, love to you. M and Bells says I'll do his happy sunshine on 2 feet. That's awesome, mate. Yeah, have an awesome couple of weeks, Em and Bells, and we'll see you when you get back. MJG's got the smiley face with the love hearts for the eyes. Noah says, yes, tissues, Luke. Titanic is good for the heart. Yeah. You're the bestest for me. Thanks, Noah. That's awesome. That is, I've got to watch Titanic. It's funny. I've never seen it. I've seen bits of it anyway. But anyway, thanks everyone. It's been a great stream. We're going to start a book club next time, the Insomnia Book Club. Anyway, have an awesome week, everyone.